Welcome back to this tutorial series on working with True32 website template. This video tutorial will be about adding, or in reality duplicating, and editing album pages, and is really applicable to any page you want to add because all pages ultimately have to be added to navigation, but this one will cover the part about adding new pages, in this case specifically for adding an album to that page. So at this point we want to go to our pages item in the navigation here, and we could have just come straight to the add pages, but again I like to get this menu drop down, and so here I can come in and add a new page by clicking here, but you get a blank page. And just like in other software programs we offer, like the Custom Cabinet Estimator, we always recommend that you duplicate something that already exists so that you get the format and how everything works. So we're going to add another room called, or another page for another album called Other Rooms Albums. So we're going to, instead of adding it and having a blank page with no formatting or anything, we're just going to come into this bath albums, and we could also come into the kitchen albums or the commercial albums. Any of those three is fine, but I'm just going to come into the bath album and say that I want to edit it. And this is one of the few things that is not self-evident. You know, when you're here and you see that button that says edit, you know what that's going to do. At this point, we're going to go ahead and rename it, but there's a part of this that's not self-evident, that what we need to do. So we've got a bath album, we're on this page, and we're wanting to duplicate this page. And there's nothing about this that says how you go about it. There's nothing on this page that says duplicate this page. So I'm going to tell you how I would do it, although there's more than one way, but I prefer using my BBM builder to do this. So I'm going to launch it instead of the standard editor because I know exactly where all the options are, and this is what I use for everything, and we're going to go over that later. So once this comes up, again, it's not self-evident, but up here in this top left corner, really all your options at this point are to start editing these. See how we have these blocks when we float over them? We have a wrench is how we edit things, and 4 arrows is how we move things, and this is how we duplicate things, and this is the row actions, and then this is how I delete that row. So we have a row that everything is sitting on top of, and then actually under these, this is a header and this is a body type area, or this is a text editor they call it, and then they call this a header. But behind these is another row. So we have the row that everything lives on, and then there's a row behind this and a row behind this, and we'll go over all those things in other videos. But in this case we want to duplicate a page that already exists that's called Bath Album. So up here in the top left you see a pull down. It's the only other thing here other than to start adding new things or be done. So click on that, and one of these options is to duplicate this layout. So we're duplicating this page so that we get all of this stuff. So we'll go here and duplicate layout, and as soon as we do it, it's going to duplicate that page, and it calls it a copy so you don't have two of the same name. And all we've got to do is come in here and say we want, instead of it being copy of bath, we want it to be Other Rooms Room Albums. All right, and then again, not necessarily self-evident, but we want to change this slug. So this is the path that will show up on this page, and because we duplicated a room, now it's called Baths Albums Copy. And in this case you don't want to leave any spaces, but you want to just replace the parts that are relevant. So I'm going to leave the albums there. I'm going to come out here at the end and remove copy from it, and then I'm going to replace bath with Other Rooms. We're not using any cap locks in these slugs. I don't even think it shows up if you do. So I'm replacing that slug of bath with Other Room and then albums. So that's really all we have to do for this, is change this and change this, and then we're ready to launch our BBM builder. So launch that, and of course because we duplicated the bath page, it still says baths page. So we're going to come in here, we're going to say I want this to be Other Room Albums, and then we don't want to change any of these other things. We just want to save that, and then we don't need any of these albums in here for this one. So we would come here to the wrench, but we've got to replace the short code to be able to do that. So we've got to get to that short code. Now I'm going to pop over here real quick to get to there. So I like to keep 2 windows, maybe even 3 open, so I can get between the dashboard and then being able to view it. But from here, when you're logged in, you'll have this black bar at the top. I'm going to go to my dashboard very quickly, and I want to go to my Foo Gallery, and we added a new album called Other Rooms. So I'm going to go to Albums, and here's our other room, and what we want is this short code right here. So we just click on that, highlight it, copy. Pretty quick and easy. And then I can go right back to that other area. So this was the short code for the bath album. Now, we don't have any rooms in here, so when we do this, it's empty, and that's fine. When we add rooms, they'll just show up in there. So we've got a new header that's named Other Rooms. We've got the short code that as we add rooms to this, it'll show up. So we don't have to do anything else in here other than add these rooms. So we'll say Done and Publish. And we haven't done anything to navigation yet. That's the next video, but we have added our room for Other Rooms. And from here, we would come in and start adding. So just to show you how it works, I'm going to add something that's irrelevant. That's not one of these other rooms. I haven't added any of the other rooms yet, but let's just grab that kitchen right there and say Update, just for the sake of being able to show how it works. And then when we refresh this page, it's there. Now I don't want it there, but it's there, and I can remove it just as quickly by unchecking it, update the album, and then come back, refresh, and it's gone. But I'm going to create that room in a later video and we'll add it to it. That's it for this video on adding or editing pages for albums. Next, we will add the new album page to our navigation so we can get to it. As you can see right here, all we have currently are kitchen albums, bath albums, and commercial albums, and we want to add another item in that selection for Other Rooms. Thanks for watching.